Welcome to Glove Talk, your weekly news of boxing. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy the video, make sure to hit the like button. With that said, let's talk about the fight. Okay, so we have Gervonta Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz on Halloween. If you want to see my other two videos I did this week that are also talking about the other Halloween fights, which is Inoue versus Maloney or Chisora versus Usyk, I'll put cards right up here so you can check out both those videos after this one. And before I get into kind of fight breakdown and prediction, let me know who you guys have winning down in the comments below. Who do you see winning? How do you see them winning? This is a pretty interesting fight, and it's kind of that cliche, you know, styles make fight kind of deal, and that's really what this is. So let's see how these guys stack up physically. Obviously, we have Leo Santa Cruz coming up in weight for this fight. He is going to be walking into the ring a little bit taller and with a little bit more reach compared to Tank. Do I think that will come into play in this fight? It could come in because we've seen Leo Santa Cruz be able to use his reach to his advantage. He was able to kind of utilize that jab and pump it against Frampton as well as Abdur Ramirez. He's able to use range to his advantage, but oftentimes he doesn't use it all the time. He'll use it when he gets the timing down, usually a little bit later in a fight. He likes to kind of get in there, and he likes to get in the inside and throw high volume. So I don't think it's going to be a factor where he's going to stay on his back foot and just kind of use his jab the entire fight. If he gets his timing well and is able to time Tank well because he's not using his head movement effective, I think we'll see a little bit more. We'll see a little bit more jabs come from Leo Santa Cruz. But overall, we know that Tank can deal with height. He did well against Pedraza. Granted, Pedraza basically came straight to him and gave up a lot of that reach, but still, we know he's dealt with bigger fighters, rangier fighters, and I think that Tank will be able to overcome that reach difference. It's not huge, but it's just something I want to kind of note in this fight. Now let's talk about power. So this is interesting because obviously anytime you talk about Tank Davis, you have to look at the kid's power. It's unbelievable for this weight class, especially 22 KOs out of 23 fights. I don't think there's a question about Tank's power. I don't think there is. I think the big question is really two things. One, how is Leo Santa Cruz going to deal with it? Is he going to be able to absorb it? Is he going to be comfortable with it? And number two, what can he throw back at Tank? Because if Tank doesn't feel any power coming back at him, he's going to go on the hunt. He's going to go right after Leo Santa Cruz and try to get the KO as soon as possible. That's just how he fights. So I'm curious to see how Leo Santa Cruz's power, either makes Tank a little bit more nervous or hesitant to engage, or if he has effects on Tank really overall. And that's really the two questions for me when it comes to power. Let's talk about hand speed or speed in general. Where Tank's speed and hand speed really shines is with his, when he does one or two power shots, he's very quick to his target, accurate, and also with his counter punching. His counter uppercut is just deadly, and it's quick, and it just catches guys off guard. It's a really effective punch for him. His counter punching in general is very effective. With Leo Santa Cruz, one of his punches in particular that's very quick from him is his body shots. He likes to sometimes start his combination punching or volume punching by throwing something straight to the body right away, and then seeing how his opponent reacts, and then throwing a bunch of punches afterwards. His combination punching is very strong, and he has solid hand speed. He's pretty quick, and his counter punching is pretty solid too. We saw in the second Frampton fight that he can be pretty sneaky with his counter punching. So both guys, I think, overall have great hand speed. It's a little different though. Like I said, you're gonna see Tank throw more, one or two really quick power shots, a vicious counter uppercut, whereas with Leo Santa Cruz, that quick body shot followed by multiple punches and bunches is what I'm expecting for him when we see kind of their hand speed and how they compare there. Now let's move on to what I think is going to be the biggest factor, and we have to bring it up, and hopefully it's the last time we have to bring it up when it comes to Tank, and that is what I think is going to end up really deciding this fight. That's weight, volume, and gas tank. So with the Gamboa fight, Tank didn't show up great. Physically, he didn't show up great. I'm going to show the CompuBox right over here. Tank threw 321 punches. That's really bad. Not just for a lightweight, but for Tank, that's really bad. And I'll show you why, because here's the Pedraza fight. Pedraza was pressuring in the whole time, so he was throwing a lot more, but he look at his gas tank in that fight. He was able to, continuously throw good volume of punches. He threw more punches in the Pedraza fight than he did in the entire Gamboa fight. It was a much shorter fight, but look at his landed punch rate because of the volume he was throwing. That's what I want to see from Tank in this. And if he's, having issues with weight, it could be a problem with his gas tank. Now, I don't think it's gonna be, because it looks like he's in good shape right now. Looking at social media, he's been showing off that he looks like he's in solid shape. He's not gonna miss weight. So I think we're okay here, but you have to somewhat question it because of what happened with the Gamboa fight, but also who he's facing. He's facing a guy that's gonna throw 850 to over 1,000 punches. It's a guarantee that Leo Santa Cruz is going to make weight. It's a guarantee he's going to have an amazing gas tank and he's going to throw high volume. That can be a real problem for Tank if he does not show up in shape for this fight. Okay, prediction time. I really see this fight going two ways. I think it's pretty obvious for a lot of people. It's either going to be Tank wins by KO, or Leo Santa Cruz wins because he's going to outpoint him and throw heavy volume and win by decision. What do I personally think? I've been split all week kind of watching film and watching both guys. In the end, my prediction for this fight is I think Tank's going to get either a stoppage or KO in the 10th round. And I'll tell you why. I think the Gamboa fight was a fluke for him. I think he didn't take it serious. I think mentally he wasn't sharp for it, and physically he wasn't. I think after that fight, he was pretty pissed off. And I think him and Floyd had a long talk. I see a Tank Davis that seems more dedicated, very focused, but also not sitting there talking about who he's going to fight next. He's not overlooking Leo Santa Cruz like he did Gamboa, and I like that. I think Leo Santa Cruz is going to test him in terms of can he, be at that physical level where he can just throw a higher volume than he did in the Gamboa fight. And I think he will rise above and be able to do that. I think he wants to make a statement with this fight. I don't think he wants to be in the ring any longer than he has to be, but I think he's going to be in there for a while. And I think we're going to see Tank Davis utilize that power. And I think what's going to happen is he's going to have to get that timing from Leo Santa Cruz, but once he starts figuring out the timing and starts landing some of those big counter punches, especially that uppercut from him, that's going to have a big effect on Leo Santa Cruz wanting to engage. I think he's going to get a little bit more sheepish. I think Tank's going to go on the hunt. I think eventually Tank is going to land something significant. Leo Santa Cruz is going to get pushed against the ropes, and Tank's going to go in and be able to get the stoppage or KO. That's how I see it. Let me know how you guys see it down in the comments below. And with that said, we'll talk to you later. Thanks.